What's going on, Internet? And welcome to not another ARFCOM review. we are doing a overview of an event. We were at the Sig NEXT event. So basically, Paul was like, yo, dog, you're going to go to a thing and videotape some stuff and sleep very little, but have a good time. And I said, bet.
Basically, Sig NEXT is what you would think of SHOT Show, but Sig exclusive,
Yeah.
right? So I think they dropped out of SHOT Show a couple of years ago. Being a company that manufactures firearms, optics, ammo, all of the encompassing things that they do, it made sense for them to just have one event, have people come out and kind of cover everything. The unique thing about this event is the fact that everything they cover, just about everything, boom, released that day. It's available. You can mess with it. So we hit the range.
Yeah.
Test fired a lot of things. Let's start with the fuse.
Yeah, the 365 fuse, I don't want to call myself a 365 hater. I just abstain from it. My wife carries one. We have two people here in the office that carry one.
I've tried to convince you. It doesn't work.
I carry a full-size Glock 17 or a 5-inch government model 1911.
He does.
I'm extra funny. I have a red dot on one of those, so I'm getting there one day at a time. But most of the arguments I had with that was, one, ballistics, because most of these, I think the shortest barrel I'll carry is, I think, like a 4.5 or like a 4.4-inch barrel, right? The other issue is going to be capacity, and I'm a bigger framed human being, and so I can cover up a larger handgun. So I was like, cool, I get more rounds. Shut up, the people are going to make me about the 1911. But I can carry more rounds, and that I typically will have a easier, more shootable pistol. So I can hit better with it. And I'm like, well, the whole point of having a weapon on you is to have something you can work with. Key in
then
this.
You got the fuse. Hey.
Some feelings, yeah.
So I guess our only real gripe was fuse. I think the naming stems from its fusion of concealability and potential duty use. I think it should have been the Macro XL and or the duty.
Yeah.
Anyway. So now you have a longer slide, longer barrel, 4.3 inch, unique serrations to this specific model. They're a bit deeper, easier to get to. Obviously, they come optic ready, and it's going to come with one 17 round and two 21 round magazines.
Yeah, that smokes the same way a 365 smoked a lot of subcompact pistols in capacity. That smokes all but like a handful of what you would consider duty size or full size pistols. While maintaining, it's like an inch, I think, at its widest point.
It's a real slimline pistol for sure.
It was very, very cool. I think it is going to, for the people that are already like, I guess, drinking the juice, if you want to call it that, for the P365, this is going to, this is just another iteration. This is the ultra mega final form, for that or whatever
at
it
least
is.
until they have a comped version and or the Legion version. I'm sure that'll come next. Sig's kind of figured out this iterative process.
But I think for people like me that have really abstained from those smaller frame pistols, I won't even carry a Glock 19 if you think about it, just because I prefer terminal ballistics.
I stopped carrying mine when the Macro came out, but moving on.
Anyways,
then
it's a cool offering.
John Wick-ish 226 X5 Reserve. I call it John Wick-ish because when this thing is sexy.
Yeah, I think the analogy I used was the dude that brings the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
He's got money for everything else. This is just classier. It's a single action 226 with a couple of changes to it. And the thumb safety set a lot further back. Shout out to your 1911 homies. This one is just overall nicer. It's a DLC coating. Is that what it is?
It's a high gloss DLC polished frame.
It's really, really nice. I do like the grip for being a metal grip module. Normally those tend to suck from a grip standpoint or be like crazy way too aggressive. This was really, really nice.
It was a gridlock panel. And it was pretty warm out there, but I didn't have any issues with grip. It was and just
that single action is disgusting.
The compensated slide, adjustable trigger. I mean, we were hammering some pretty quick splits there. That thing shot fantastic.
That is kind of paired with their like ultra. So it's effectively the same pistol, but they're like specifically for competition and not the black tie. This is the guy that brings.
Yeah, they also have a 320 X5 SXG, and this thing is a 50-ounce steel framed 320.
So this is like the guy that drives like a Porsche or a Corvette. Like they drive the car very hard, but it's still a nice car. I'm kind of poor for that spectrum of handgun. If you're already into competition shooting and things of that nature, it's actually really nice.
It came with a 5-inch bull barrel and G10 lock grips as well. And going along with all of these pistols that they're announcing, they have the Romeo X now enclosed in compact and full-size variants. I believe the claim was this is the lowest deck height RDS.
Yeah. I think for pistol dots, especially given battery life concerns that you'll have with smaller batteries and or just in general, the optic can fail. I think allowing that lower deck height allows you to keep your iron sights. And they managed to do that without getting crazy big on the footprint, so you're losing that rear sight. Or having to shorten your sight radius. I've never been a huge fan of putting your like iron sights completely in front of your red dot, 'cause I'm like, well, if it gets obstructed, you know, like, I can't even window it or whatever. That was a really nice offering, and I think even down the road they're toying with this idea of having these screws come from the bottom of the slide.
Yeah, I think that's one of the M17 associated optics. They were talking with Jeff a little bit about that. I didn't really catch all of it, but for those folks that are sick of cleaning out your belly lint out of the
no kidding. You don't have to worry about it.
your dot.
You just clear the
I
back
got the
glass,
enclosed
not
option,
the inside
right?
dot.
Yeah, and that comes in a 3, 6, and circle dot options. So moving on with optics, we have a Echo thermal launch. So they're going to have a new monocular,
It's a clip-on and a standalone.
and standalone optic. So again, we're not necessarily thermal guys, so I'm going to let Bobby roll in the B-roll here for the specs. Both the clip-on and the optic are going to share the same core. The objective lens is a little bit different. Price point obviously is different as well. I believe they start at $4 for the clip-on, $6 for the standalone. And the unique features of the standalone is that the fact that it has the laser rangefinder built in, so similar to the BDX system scopes that you pair with a rangefinder there. You can laser your target. It'll automatically give you the hold within the system. We played with the variety of the different color profiles, zoom and whatnot. I mean, things pretty legit. And it's going to be paired with a new lifetime warranty that Sig is launching. So I'm not sure if that is out yet, but we were... It was confirmed, and this is eventually going to include firearms and accessories and everything else.
Yeah,
so
they're stepping up to what Vortex currently does for optics. It's that, but for everything else that Sig makes, which is pretty cool. Will they do it on ammo?
For you hunters out there, we haven't played with the Cross Magnum. We don't have one of those on the wall there yet.
Rounds to the thing.
But there's a Cross Magnum Sawtooth. The Sawtooth is the new edition. It comes with a 24-inch Proof Research carbon fiber barrel. It's 24 inches, and it is available in 7 and 300 PRC.
Yeah.
You got to shoot that. I didn't mess with it. Seemed like a pretty slick rifle.
It was cool. It's a lot more lightweight than some of these chassis rifles. It's just like big old heavy chassis, big old heavy barrel. It was really, really easy. I do think this is all lost on me because I'm not a long range shooter here, if you want to call it that. But it was very easy to manipulate. I think holds were very easy. Wind is a little more complicated. We were out there.
So you were shooting it with the BDX optic, so they were giving you.
Yeah. They basically, your rangefinder can tell you what your holdover is visually within the optic without saying anything. You just would click it, and a little reticle would drop down and say, "Here's your holdover," and then I would cry because me and wind calls don't mix. So the rifle did much better in other people's hands. They are offering it though. I know we put it in the forums. We had a thread post specifically about this event if people were going to have questions. We got to be there for a couple days. Biggest question they had was a barrel length. 24 inches that's a long barrel. And so they are going to be having those in different barrel lengths. We don't know which one specifically, but they're going shorter.
I believe,
longer.
They'll probably have 22 and 18-inch variants for those that don't want to carry the extra weight coming soon. But the original launch is only in a 24-inch barrel. Then your obsession, the 320 Flux Legion.
Hotness. The biggest complaint in general for the Raider X, right, is it's never in stock. It's like the most unobtainium of unobtainium objects. And so after shooting it, and it's really cool. For those of you that are not familiar, you have a deployable brace / stock. I think they're all kind of effectively braces. And then you have 2 magazines in this thing, both of which are deployable. It's a different battery of arms if you're used to a 320 or a pistol in general, but it gives you all of the loves and the feels of things like the MP7 or the BNT9, but in a package that's designed around the Sig FCU / side for the 320. Sig legitimately had a pallet. I saw literally with my own 2 eyes getting ready to ship out of the warehouse 500 of these things, and I was like, so that's 500 of them. What happens when these sell out? And the guy looked at me dead in the face, and I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he said that they will keep up with the demand and that Sig has invested heavily on making sure that they have the units to provide these things. I think it's really cool. This is the first time you could have always assembled it, I guess, with a Legion upper, but they're putting it together. This does have the cool little Legion emblem, so you'll be a cool kid at the range if you have one. But they are going to keep up with the demand for those of you that are uninitiated. It's just the slide and the FCU put in the Raider X chassis. And what's nice about it is your red dot does not reciprocate on your slide. Your red dots sit in a much more like comfortable elevated position.
Yeah, you don't really need to get a cheek weld on that to shoot it effectively.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to like that for a bag deployed.
I think it's
like
longer than it. I mean, it's taller than it is long.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So it's really nice. We got to put some rounds downrange. It's one of the very few guns. We had a Brownells person come with us that he was like, "Can I go and shoot that again?" I was like, "Paul's taking a water break. Let's go." And that one had a line out
Stay
the door,
hydrated, folks.
the whole day. There wasn't a single day. And these are all Gucci influencer people that get access because they ask for it, and almost everybody stood in line for that because that's how unobtainium it is. Shout out to Sig for supporting that and for finding something in the aftermarket that was good. And instead of just saying cease and desist, they went, well, how about let me actually encourage this. This is an American-based company making a cool product with one of my products. Let me just buy some so that I can actually have it not be unobtainium. Thank you for that, Sig.
After that, we got to shoot a couple of the things that we aren't going to be able to get to everyone's hands. We got to shoot the MG338 and the XM250. Both were fantastic. I mean, they were a blast to shoot.
They were wild, yeah.
You managed to get that 338 just pinned down and got a good string off there. I'm pretty sure that you got the glare from the RO there. But the reason we want to bring up the military firearms is because they are going to be launching the Spear N68 now and also selling military overrun ammo as well as a new 277 Fury OTM. So I don't have the bullet weight on the OTM, but the 113 grain solid copper ball from the military overrun will be available. The unique thing about that ammo, some people were asking in the forum, is essentially they made that solid copper ball so it would work at 5.56 ranges that the military uses. So it's going to start to tumble around 800 meters and drop off in velocity, so you're not sending them off to the moon. But the velocity on those things is pretty ridiculous. It's over 3,000 feet per second, and that thing is I mean, you don't want to get hit with that.
I think it's cool that they specifically, as they got these contracts, said we're going to make overrun on this, and we're making enough overrun that it's even worth posting to the public, which I think was pretty rad. If they're making it for them, we are actually seeing, as opposed to them, and the description's always, they're just getting their government money and keeping it to themselves. They're getting that and actually reinvesting it into something that's available for us, which I think is pretty awesome.
If there's anything on this list that we've mentioned that you guys would like us to see and or review, please let us know in the comments below. If you're upset we didn't bring up the 320 lawsuit, that is beyond the scope of this video and this event. There's definitely threads in the forums. Go hit them up.
If you guys have any other stuff, we did make a thread for this specifically, so there's a lot of questions that got answered there that maybe we didn't cover in a video most of the people might not or will sit through. And then if you guys like this type of stuff, we do actual in-depth reviews of products that we had more than just one range trip on. So go check that stuff out and go follow us on all of the socials at AR15com, or go check out our Discord for those of you that prefer non-meta-based social medias, or like we said before, go into the forums themselves.
AR15.com.
It's pretty rad. Go check it out, and hopefully we didn't upset anybody with this video. Go shoot some guns, go own some stuff, and then hold your manufacturers accountable.